And then next to a story deep in my heart. I have a lot of feelings about the Oligarch space race. Everybody knows I love space. I've actually just finished a book on Project Mercury, which some of you might know about the right stuff and more. So I've been thinking a lot about this and how to frame it properly. And, you know, there was a speech yesterday by Richard Branson. He recently went up to 50 miles, which is the technical edge of space.
What I call fake space.
What Krystal calls fake space, which, I mean, it is kind of true because it's not real. So, like, unless you can see the ocean blue and you're in, you know, the blackness and you can see the International Space Station, I personally don't think it counts, but all these guys apparently think that it does. If you want to experience weightlessness, you can literally go up to like 40,000 feet and just plunge. People have been doing it since like 1945. All that being said, let's take a listen to what Richard Branson had to say, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
We're here to make space more accessible to all, and we want to turn the next generation of dreamers into the astronauts of today and tomorrow. We've all, of us on this stage, have just had the most extraordinary experience, and we'd love it if a number of you can have it too. And with that in mind, I have some news. So today, Virgin Galactic is thrilled to announce that we have partnered with Amaze to open space for everyone.
Okay, so as we were joking, it's space for all who want it, for everybody who's rich and all that. But
that's what the people have been asking for,
Let's just think about it. Well, I do think people are mystified by space, and people are, you know, really invested in it whenever it's a national project. But part of the problem that we've had, and we saw this what happened when Congress tried to give that special giveaway to Blue Origin, is that Bezos wants money for space. Oh, here's $10 billion. But if NASA wants money for space, no, you're gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops. And we should really consider, like, should we be, look, what's happened is that Richard Branson and then Blue Origin, Musk in particular, has actually done something revolutionary. The other two are really just like literally recreating projects that we did in the 1950s in order to get into space. Like, we accomplished this already. Yuri Gagarin did this in 1961, okay? That's how long ago we went into fake space or whatever. Alan Shepard went into suborbital flight in 1962. It's already been done. John F. Kennedy was literally president when all this was happening. Why are we outsourcing these capacities, which we have as humanity, as Americans, to the private sector? I mean, do you really want them to have control over? If you consider, you know, Star Trek and all of that, space is the next frontier, the final frontier. Well, if you think about it, why are these billionaires who are specifically come from Silicon Valley obsessed with it? Because the way that they made billions of dollars is you own the infrastructure of the next big thing. Amazon is the infrastructure of the world store. Elon Musk and then PayPal, the financial infrastructure online. Richard Branson is a little bit different in the way that he became a billionaire, but the mindset is the same, which is that if you want to make billions and billions in the future, you want to own the railroads, so to speak, of the next infrastructure of what we're at. I personally think that should be public. Think about how much investment and the semiconductor and all of the technological advances that came from Apollo, from the Mercury program, Gemini program, and all of that. And that just seems gone. And I thought it was really crystallized in this clip of a young reporter on CNN being like, I'm just never gonna forget this day. Just watch this.
Really absorb that this has just happened and there was no mishaps that we know of. From our perspective, it went off without a hitch, and Richard Branson will soon be awarded his astronaut wings along with two of his fellow mission specialists. I mean, really, it's a moment that gives you goosebumps. It's a moment, Brian, as a reporter, you know, we all have those moments that we put in the memory book forever, that we know we're never going to forget, we're going to hold on to for the rest of our lives.
Memory book forever, Krystal. I mean,
she's trying way too hard.
She is trying way too hard. And you know, my mom was not even born when Alan Shepard went to space. That's how much we seem to have like forgotten in terms of our legacy of what we can actually do. And so watching the private sector just recreate it, it makes me sad. It just shows you that like how much you've just let, you know, kind of go away in terms of our national imagination and of our technological capabilities.
Anand Giridharadas, who always has good takes on like billionaires in this regard, he wrote a Substack piece that said, I have an idea for a new reality show. It's called Billionaires Solve Problems the Government Solved a Long Time Ago,
Exactly.
And then explain how much more efficient they are than the government. I mean, ask Richard Branson and produce, which pretty much sums up
Yeah, it's true.
what you're saying here is like, how is this impressive? We've been doing this forever ago. Y'all are wanting, especially, Musk and Bezos, they're wanting all this money from the government that they're getting in a lot of cases to do what NASA accomplished 60 years ago. Like, what exactly are we doing here? So there's that very specific question. There's also this sense of like, you all are the richest people on the planet, and you could do anything you want with your money to make this world that we all live in a better place, right? You could make a lot of different choices to focus on the human beings that are actually here. And yet there's this aura about it of like, the elites of the world have basically screwed up this world. If we look at what's going on with climate change now, it really is terrifying because we seem to be leapfrogging every projection that's like worst case scenario. We seem to be getting there faster than even the worst case scenarios envision. And, elites disproportionately contributed to climate change and corporate interests and business interests and all of that. So there's a sense of like, okay, y'all screwed up this planet, and now you're just like, that's okay. We'll just figure out how to get on to the next one. There was an exchange. Let me find this. Elon Musk tweeted last night, those who attack space maybe don't realize that space represents hope for so many people. And Marianne Williamson, as she often does, had a phenomenal reply, which is that the problem is that Earth represents hopelessness for so many more. And so there's this sense of like, number one, why are we outsourcing these public goods and government function and government capability to a private sector that's like 60 years behind and way less efficient than the US government has been in these things? And also, why is this your focus? Why is it that all these billionaires are jumping into the space race rather than figuring out the next big technology to make things good here at home?
I think all
of that kind of goes together.
I think it all comes down to this, which is that, look, and this is Anand's always bigger point, which is that why do you outsource public goods in all forms? So like, once again, it's actually, people are always like, why doesn't Bill Gates and Elon Musk or whatever donate their money? It shouldn't be up to them. Their whims of their philanthropy should not be up to them. We should determine our societal problems together and use our government to fix them. And if we have to raise taxes, so be it. And, like I said, I'll cut Musk much more of a break because they actually did, revolutionary technology in terms of relanding rockets, dropping the price of satellites and all that. I think that actually is something inherently better for the public good. Same thing in terms of delivering astronauts to the space station. But Blue Origin and Virgin have not accomplished any of that. Literally not even close.
And it also just feels like a vanity play.
It is a vanity play. Yeah. Branson explicitly wanted to go before Bezos. And look, like, I don't want to go after the engineers and all of that made it possible. What it is that why are we celebrating and forgetting our own legacy of being able to accomplish astounding and incredible things? It's like that reporter probably doesn't even know that we did this back in the 1960s. 1961 is whenever we went into space as mankind. 1962 as the United States. John Glenn orbited the Earth in 1962 a couple of times. It's like these were things which were huge in the national memory, and it's just like forgotten within a single generation. And you look now, we don't even have, I always see NASA being like, oh, well, we're going to have a moon base by 2028. I'm like, get out. No, you're not. The same, or we're going to Mars by 2040. It's a total joke. And the real truth is that if there's anybody who's going to make it back to the moon or Mars, it's probably SpaceX. And God bless, okay, good. But I will always have qualms with the idea that a private company, which also has contracts with the Chinese government and all these other people, they're, at the end of the day, SpaceX is loyal to the dollar. That's not their fault. That's just how it is. Like, you shouldn't necessarily have your next space program, especially if it's something that could be the future of humanity. It shouldn't be. It should be beholden to a country or to the, to the people in the spirit of the International Space Station.
That's very well said. We're taking, science and exploration and potential hope for the future of humanity, and from the jump turning it into a commodity to be subject to the same capitalistic whims and corrupt forces and dedication to the profit margin over literally everything else that, everything here is already subjected to.
It reminds me of the scene from Fight Club when the guy, I forget what he says, it's like the IBM stellar sphere, or he talks about how corporations are going to be naming the constellations or whatever in space as
here
the
we
future.
go.
And, he wasn't that far off. I remember with the Red Bull jump. That's when I was like, man, this is a little bit too close to reality.
Moon brought to you by Amazon.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not too far away.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut. Our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions. All that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.